up, guys? Welcome to Real Estate Podcast, episode 213. I'm here with Griffin.
Trav.
I'm here with Adam.
And we're in the Matrix.
Yeah, we're in the Matrix.
We watched the Matrix.
Right? Yeah, right.
I couldn't help it, guys, and I watched all three of them, but we're only talking about the first two.
Right. Missed last week, but it's all right. We're coming in strong with a twofer.
Yeah.
You know, two for Sutherland. That's Kiefer Sutherland's nephew, twofer. Yeah. Matrix. All right, so look, man. The first Matrix movie, for me personally, right? I've watched it a lot.
Yeah.
Because that's the only one that I've got like on DVD. I don't have any of them on Blu-ray. I went to the drive-in and watched the second one and the third one. And I, of course, watched them when they came out, like on VHS. And yeah, guys, we're that old. We remember VHS, you know what I'm saying? But, and that might have been the last time that I watched like all three of them. And it came out in 2003. So I'm going to say the last time I watched all of them was probably 2004, 2005.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
That's about right.
And in 2003, I was not very old.
Nah.
I was like 13, 14, 15. I was 13 or 14, somewhere in there. So, I mean, as a 13, 14-year-old,
dude.
What are you concerned with? You know
Watched
what I mean?
these movies 18 years ago, dude.
It's fucking
Holy
crazy to think
shit, man.
Yeah, right.
That's why I didn't remember. Now, and you remember, there's a lot of stuff you remember. It's like, I remember the pills, you know, and a lot of it's just kind of like pop culture shit. Like,
yeah.
But for real, y'all, whenever he goes to see the architect, all I could picture was Will Ferrell. And then when he finally got there, I was like, oh, okay, that's the guy.
Yeah.
Because I always think about that when they did it on MTV.
Right.
But anyway,
I mean, and they kind of, they spoofed the architect thing like how much, like.
Well, dude, I remember that year, the movie awards, like it was all Matrix. Like it was, everything was green. Like, you know, it was a big deal when it came out.
Right. And I mean, all right, so they released the first movie in 99, which was like prime Y2K, right?
Yeah.
And those people out there that don't remember what Y2K is about.
Oh my God.
That's like the computers they wouldn't know how to roll over the calendar.
Yeah.
And nukes were going to start going off and it was going to be the end of the world. And
guess what happened?
Not a fucking thing.
The calendar rolled right over to 2000.
Yeah. I mean, nothing happened. But like, I mean, it was a huge ordeal. You know what I mean? Like I remember what I was doing.
I remember where I was at when it happened, man. I was at my grandparents' house watching the damn, you know.
Yeah.
The ball dropping shit.
Right.
My dad's parents.
This is where I was at. This is crazy. My dad went and bought the first ever, I mean, it's not the first that's ever been produced, but the first one we had, the first ever DVD player, right?
Yeah.
He bought 2 DVDs. He bought The 13th Warrior. And Detroit Rock City.
Fucking right, dude.
And
I bet y'all wore that one out.
Oh yeah, of course. You know, it's fucking Detroit Rock City.
Yeah, dude.
But we watched The 13th Warrior, and that was the first time I'd ever seen anything in widescreen.
Yeah, and you're like, why is there fucking bars on the top and the bottom? Like,
yeah.
I used to have to explain that to people. I was like, you actually see more.
Yeah, right.
And they're like, no, it cuts off. And I'm like, no. When it's full screen, you know, the aspect ratio cuts the sides off.
Yeah.
But people just didn't like it, man.
No.
Until widescreen TVs came along. Like, like, oh, there's the rest of it.
Yeah. So the 13th Warrior was notoriously widescreen.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the size of the TV that we were watching this on was probably, you know, a 32-inch
I would say
TV.
a 32.
Yeah. Tube TV.
Tube. And maybe a Magnavox or an RCA. I don't know what you had.
I think it was a Magnavox. But you only saw about, I don't know, 12 inches of fucking movie.
Sit close to it.
That's how fucking widescreen this shit was. Yeah. So, but that's where I was. Y2K. We watched the movie, watched the clock countdown. It hit midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was fine. That was it. You know what I'm saying?
I was sitting there going, because the whole thing was going on, and they were like, well, tonight, there's going to be all, I mean, there was people like doomsday prepping,
Oh yeah, for sure.
like it was
Yeah,
serious.
it was.
The world was freaking out. Now I was sitting there going, wait a minute. All right. China's like 24 hours ahead.
Yeah.
It's already 2000 there and everything's fine. We're going
Yeah.
to be all right.
Right. I wasn't thinking that far ahead. I was thinking Antonio Banderas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And fucking going to the Kiss show.
Yeah,
Crazy mom's not going to let us go. She stole his fucking drumsticks.
But, and I thought about that whenever I was watching this. That first film came out in '99, and all that hype and all that not really pandemic, but that
pandemonium.
Pandemonium of what Y2K was and what everybody thought it was going to be and everything, and it really kind of like if it kind of plays into the film in a way, you know what I mean? Like
kind of weird
because the machines took over, like which would
I'm
have been
sure
like worse.
They had it on their mind when they wrote it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. And it just worked out very well. I bet that's why they had to get it out in '99. But before we get into the movies, like other than Star Wars, okay, is there any other trilogy that has ever defined filmmaking like The Matrix has?
No.
I mean,
bullet time.
Not in recent memory, not really.
Well, I mean, and I was thinking.
Well, some could argue Avatar's like James Cameron, the whole 3D advancement. But I mean, I get what you're saying though. Like,
right, because like
any slow motion sequence any person has ever seen in a film since The Matrix is because of The Matrix.
Right. Well, and I'm not even just talking about that. I'm talking about like, so I started racking my brain and thinking about trilogies, and I'm thinking about trilogies that defined not only a generation, but also define filmmaking and progress filmmaking that much. And I get what you're saying about James Cameron and Avatar and stuff, but like, if it wasn't for The Matrix, we would not have superhero movies. You know what I mean?
Absolutely right.
Well, I watched the last one already. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
It's a fucking superhero fight at the end, dude. When I was sitting there watching him fight fucking Agent Smith, I was like, "It's a superhero fight, man. This is a goddamn Marvel movie."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because Matrix came out in '99, the other two came out in 2003.
The same year. That had never been done. Like,
a
blockbuster movie. They filmed them back to back, released them the same year. I think one came out May and the other one came out towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
In like November or something.
And
I remember the theater being packed when Reloaded came out.
Yeah. And then X-Men came out in what, 2004?
I think so.
I mean,
roundabout.
Yeah, so
I think that's like 2001.
Was it 2000? But still off the hills of the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
To me, what it felt like, especially with the training sequences and the fight sequence towards the end and all that kind of stuff, it's like they really showed what was, because they brought some of the Asian cinema over, their influences, obviously. They brought those influences over to the Matrix and then made a huge, blockbuster film. And that same mentality it started in '99 and it really hasn't let up, even to the point where, like, look at modern action films in general. Like, modern action films are basically like a somewhat reinterpretation of the action sequences from The Matrix. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you can say that, oh, well, they stole that from this. It's like, yeah, they stole that from this, but like, it was never stylized like that. It was never like.
And and what makes the movie pretty damn incredible to me, it's something that it happens every time that I rewatch these movies. I'm always impressed at the fact that these movies don't feel dated.
Nah, man.
No, not at all.
I enjoyed
And
the hell out of it.
I mean,
yeah,
you only hear the year in the soundtrack.
yeah. Well, and not only like I love the way that they used landlines. Like
Yeah,
that
dude, that's
was
so cool.
yeah, that was incredible and it makes sense.
It does.
And the way that they treated CGI
Mm-hmm.
was so fucking genius. You know, like less is more. There were some scenes like whenever he's fighting all the Agent Smiths and it gets a little CGI.
Yeah, you can tell they're not real.
Yeah, but still though, you can still give in to what it is. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I could
Well,
anyway.
at this point, you know what the Matrix is, and you know he's manipulating it. So it's a computer program, and he's an anomaly. Like
Yeah,
so, you can even work that into an argument for it. You
yeah,
know, I
exactly.
mean,
I mean,
even at the time that it dropped, it didn't look terrible.
no, and it still
And you're
holds
right.
up.
Yeah.
It's like,
The first one does on such a crazy level, and I think it's because like you were saying, the CGI was used very well.
yeah. Um, So I haven't watched the third one yet, right? But I have watched the first and the second one. And I was telling Adam about this the other night because we kind of been talking about the Matrix on and off for like the past week or two, like we'll
Hmm.
get on here and we'll start talking and I'm like, all right, what about Oracle? Like we start talking about you know Matrix shit. But anyway, I forgot what I was gonna say. Where was I going with that? Fuck.
Oracle was different in the second one.
No. All right.
Oh,
So watching the first one and the second one, me personally, after watching both of them now, I really, really, really enjoyed the second one, almost more so than the first one.
yeah, I remembered like back in the day being like the first one was just you, and of course watched it so much,
Yeah,
but it's like the first one, the first one's the best one.
yeah,
But it's a little different this time around, man. Like, and it's like you kind of watch it all together. It's just one big movie.
yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's how I revisit it
it's just one big
usually.
movie, dude.
yeah,
Especially when it hits that to be continued. I went, fuck that,
yeah. They ain't nobody got time for that
Yeah,
shit.
I need to know what happened. Nah.
I
Haven't seen
started to do the
like
same thing.
and this was when blockbusters like I haven't and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm just forgetting a swath of film, but when Reloaded went to be continued, I didn't have that feeling since like the early viewings of watching like the sequels to Back to the Future,
Yeah.
Right.
where it's not just a cliffhanger as in the movie's tied up. It's like no, stops the movie.
Yeah.
It just stops, dude. It's like to be
Pause.
continued. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Cute fucking Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah. In both of them, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, fuck, they're all
Da-da-da-da.
in
Da-da-da-da.
it. Yeah.
I think where people give the sequel shit is because they take the savior theme and they really run with it.
Oh yeah. But to me though, after watching Marvel and you know DC films and like that, how is that any different than what Snyder did with Superman?
We'll see, and I have to agree with you because I'm not of those people that criticize those
Yeah.
sequels like that. I enjoyed them,
Right.
and so for me, yeah, like I enjoyed the journey because it's like you're getting this crazy simulated version of like a second coming story,
Yeah.
but it's played out like fucking Tron, you know?
Right. And it's I don't know, man. Like I just really enjoyed this
I
watch
enjoyed it.
a lot, man. And all right, let's get into some of the technical stuff here. So, like in the first film, like, all right, before we go any further, favorite character. Who's your favorite character?
Favorite character. Hmm.
I mean, I
There's
already know
some
who. What you got, Trav?
Well, he's a small character, but I've always thought that Seraph was the shit.
Okay. Okay.
The one that you gotta beat to get to the Oracle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But as far as like the big fucking crazy, you know, the big upper characters,
hmm
uh I don't know, it's always been a tie between like the architect and fucking Smith, man.
I really like Smith.
Yeah. He was born for
The
that role.
acting, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, when he
Yeah.
does that, when they have Morpheus tied up and he's like, the fucking smell. I want to get out of here, man.
Yeah.
I hate it. I'm just like, this guy, like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Spoon Boy was all right.
Who's your favorite character, Adam?
I might have to go with Agent Smith, man.
I mean, he's a great villain,
Yeah.
but that you can really sympathize with to an extent. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, he's
Like,
programmed to do it, so
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Well, he's such a good metaphor in the film for if you're gonna wake people up, you're gonna get, you know, like he kind of encapsulates what's gonna happen with, you know, the people that want out and are necessarily, you know, nefarious with their intents, you know.
Tank's
yeah,
pretty cool too
yeah. Tank was awesome.
with his damn programming. He's like, give me a minute, you know?
Yeah, Tank and Dozer.
Well, like when they're
Like,
sitting
shit.
there watching the Matrix and they can like read it.
Oh
Because
yeah,
he was
that's
like, what are
fucking
you looking
crazy.
at? And he's like, well, after a while, you don't see this. You can see like red car or,
Yeah,
you know, like when he was doing stuff, they're like, I've never seen any code like this. I don't know what's happening. There's like
yeah,
that's how you know.
yeah. It sucks that that Tank didn't come back for the sequels, but
Yeah, I don't know why. Well, you know, they had the different Oracle, right?
The Oracle died
Oh, she
while
died.
filming. Yeah,
Oh,
the
they don't even
actress died.
explain that. They're just like
Yeah,
and I like how she's just chill, smoking a cigarette. Like,
yeah. She's a stoner.
yeah, yeah, dude, for sure has the beads hanging.
Yeah.
I didn't know she died.
So
That makes
Yeah.
sense now. I thought she just wanted more money.
Well, that's why they didn't bring Tank back.
Yeah,
Tank wanted more money, and they were like, basically, fuck
yeah,
you.
dude, you're just the
So-
programmer. Like,
so I certainly didn't come up with this, and I know that it's been saying like a lot of articles and other content creators have made like stuff about this. But it's such a good theory that I've started to run with it too, especially with previous viewings of it since learning said theory. They never get out of the Matrix. Do you agree or do you disagree?
So all right, with
well, wait,
that
before you
idea
go
in
there,
mind.
who's your favorite character? Because we're about to get
Oh,
away from that.
Morpheus.
Okay.
Morpheus is my favorite character, and the reason why is because like
He's a
his
badass.
well, all right, he's a badass first of all, like a given.
Cool name.
But cool name, cool sunglasses.
He's the forever faithful.
Well, the thing, yeah, it's like his belief in who Neo is and what he is capable of, is to such a degree. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
dude.
it
Like
is,
he's willing to die for it.
Like it's
yeah,
like he if outside looking in, Morpheus is radicalized by the ideology of the one.
yes, yeah. But he's on the right side. Like it's his motivation. It's what drives his character to do all this stuff, to sacrifice himself, like which also drives Neo into becoming who the one is. So it's this clever writing back and forth that they did with this, where it's like, he goes to the Oracle and the Oracle's like, "You ain't the one, bitch." And then he's like, "One of y'all's gonna have to die." And then Neo's like, "Fuck this! Like, I'm gonna go save him." You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Nobody's dying on my watch.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I'm the one.
exactly.
That's not how this works.
Yeah. And it's just like Morpheus is a badass. Neo just like works for Morpheus, but Neo's the one. But they respect each other so much. You know what I'm saying? Like, because Neo could by all means be like, "Fuck you, I'm taking the ship over, dude. Fuck you." And
Neo answers to Morpheus.
exactly. And it's like that respect that not only Neo, but everybody has for Morpheus whether they believe in the same shit that he believes in or not, everybody respects the shit out of him, you know? And it's just, I don't know. I love that. I love his character,
Well,
you know?
they did a good job in the first film and in this one, really driving home the fact that Morpheus is going to remain unchanged in this story. Like
He's always
Yeah.
going to be Morpheus.
his dilemmas are not going to be morally based.
Oh no, he's made his mind up years ago.
Well, even the council, when they're talking to Major Payne, the guy's like, "We got to fucking bomb them when they get here," you know?
Yeah, yeah,
Fuck the ship. They're like, "Have you heard from Morpheus?
yeah,
Have we heard from the Oracle?" And he's like, "Fuck this Oracle shit, man." They're like, "No, dude, fuck you." You know?
yeah,
That's the only thing
yeah,
that's gonna stop this shit.
yeah. The prophecy, man. So, but that's my favorite character by far. Like, and you know, everybody like Neo, like he can fly and do like all kinds of crazy Neo shit. But
Superman
like,
He's the
shit.
hero. Like
yeah,
he kind of gets that placeholder regardless.
yeah. But fucking Morpheus is the man behind the man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
like? That's
Without
Well,
Morpheus, you don't have Neo.
and I know we kind of sat and just picked which ones, you know, and all of that. But really, at the end of the day, this movie had such a good, well written script
yeah,
that all the characters are great. They're
Yeah.
all they all feel real when you watch them.
oh yeah, for sure.
The struggle was real.
Yeah, but it's, I mean, and the balls that the Wachowski siblings,
Mm-hmm.
sisters, bro, I don't,
Siblings will
the
work.
okay, all right, the balls that they had when they wrote this to kill off, no, legitimately, to kill off
Yeah.
99% of the fucking characters in the first
For
film.
real, dude.
Like the balls that they had, they're like, fuck a sequel. Like,
When they
we're
do the
gonna write,
heist
yeah,
and they
it's
just kill
fucking,
everybody, and it's like,
yeah.
Trinity, I'm gonna need you to hop in there.
I mean, they kill fucking everybody in that first film. Dude fucking gets out of the Matrix and like fucking hits him with the fucking ray of death, the BFG from Doom, and just fucks fucking Dozer and like, I'm like, and I remember this happening, but every time it happens, every time I watch the film, I'm always so surprised. Like, I'm offended
Yeah.
that he's killing all these motherfuckers,
Yeah,
and
dude, that
he's
was a
just
fucked up
unplugging them.
moment. He
Yeah,
went
and
straight
he's
Judas
just,
on them, dude.
yeah, right. But you needed that moment. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
don't think that Smith was gonna put him back into the Matrix.
Well,
no,
it
fuck
was
no.
time to remove the cushion.
Oh yeah, and let you know that nobody's safe,
Yeah.
regardless of if they're in or out. You know, like,
He just told him whatever he wanted to hear. He's like, I want to be somebody important. He's like, of
Yeah.
course.
Well, it made that scene where Neo's running to the fucking phone to get out. He opens the door, out steps Smith, pop, 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 and just fucking tears him down in the hallway.
Yeah.
yeah,
And I remember first watching the movie when I was a kid, and I was like, "Oh shit, it's fucking what?
yeah,
No, this is bullshit," you know?
right.
And then Deuce to the fucking X comes in, you know?
Yeah, right. All right, Trev, what you got? What's the theory? The theory.
The theory is that, and it'll probably come full circle once the third movie's been watching. Adam probably might already be
I know
there, but
why you would say that. I do know why you would say that. Yes.
But my theory is the theory that the theory that I agree with and am so in support of is the idea that they've never really left the Matrix.
Okay.
By waking up and going to the real world, they're just in the next level of the Matrix.
It's just another simulation. It's a simulation inside a simulation.
Similar section.
If we're gonna pretend like part 3 doesn't exist right now, and we're going on what we just have up to Reloaded, so far Neo has escaped the Matrix, become the savior, harnessed the ability to work and manipulate within the parameters of the Matrix. He can break it and bend it to his will. Well,
he also
now
does
that
it
he's
in
out,
the real world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody else can, but he can.
He can.
Agent Smith. It does get into the other movie, but there's no spoilers here. We've all seen them. Agent Smith comes into the real world. Like, how is that even possible?
Right.
And
And how did they
also,
not know that was fucking him by the way he was talking? Like,
and all of those little straw mans aside, the biggest thing for me is that the machines have crafted the real world to such a level to where they're farming human beings. How are they going to have that kind of an anomaly or that kind of a hole in there? Even with all of the architects' jargon
Yeah.
about the idea that, every like pretty much saying, man, we update the matrix ever so often. Like you show up, we present the dilemma, you choose it, but either way, we still fucking go to fucking Zion and we still wipe you all the fuck out.
Right.
And I think in the movie he says this is like the 7th time they've done it.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Like me and Adam's been talking about that a little bit here and there. It's like if he goes to the architect and like, so his job as the one is to handpick who survives after the complete decimation of human life. There's like what 7 women and like 3 or 4 men
He's the
that
boot
survive.
disc. That's what he is.
yeah,
Yeah,
base
more
program.
or less. Yeah, and like I don't know, it's fucking crazy to think about that, the idea of that happening, because it's like if you're the one and you've done this up to 7 times now, and you've had this experience all these times, why is now different? Why haven't you tried everything?
But because they're all programs and they're not ever going to act out of what their programs are designed to do because that's how programs work. And if
Yeah,
the entire thing's a simulation, then he's built to get out of it, which means there's more there's more you know uh web space to be in, more bandwidth to eat up.
right. But why would they put a failsafe in there for humans?
I don't know, man. Whenever you get to the very end, which of course we'll talk about next week, but it was like all of that builds up to the Oracle and the Architect meet, and it was like a game between them.
Right.
It was
And
like
I've always thought they were
they were playing chess, like
I thought they were one and the
checkmate.
same. They're like they're the initial back and forth data, like Oracle and the architect. Like architect designs Oracle, goes, okay, this works, it doesn't work. And it's just the back and forth.
Yeah.
And that's why she knows everything, because it's happened before, right?
Yeah. Or like 2 different systems. And she's like, you plug her in, the Oracle knows how everything's supposed to run. It's running, and she's doing the system scan,
Right.
finds the one. Like it's crazy. You could really dissect both. You could dissect the whole trilogy from a technical level and how it relates to computers working,
Yeah.
or you could look at it on a philosophical level.
Right. And
And bravo for them on that, for executing it so well.
yeah, and like the ideas that are presented and the way that they're presented and the way that if you don't have to have a lot of knowledge of how this work to be able to understand how it's working in the Matrix world. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I love how they try to teach you and coach you along the way, specifically Morpheus. And I think this is another reason why I like his character so much. But they teach you and coach you along the way to where it doesn't sound like they're talking down to you, but they're not over explaining everything. They're trying to keep it, as simple as humanly possible to follow.
Mm-hmm.
Like the idea of the programs, and the programs are obsolete now, but there's this light that creates programs, and once they're upgraded or replaced, they're supposed to return to this, return
The
to it.
source.
Yeah. And it's like if they, some of them don't return to it, and that's where you get crazy French guy, and his little twin
Yeah.
albinos. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then you start getting you get these crazy computer iterations of the supernatural.
yeah, because you got to think that the twins were agents at some
They were
point, right?
ghosts. Yeah. They were
Like,
like the ghosts of former agents or some shit.
yeah, and that's how I always viewed them, was like, these are decommissioned agents. And it's
Well, I mean,
like,
they explain in there, like they're like, anytime you've ever had deja vu, or you've seen a ghost, or you felt like, they were breaking it down to where it was like, any of that supernatural shit you've witnessed are just glitches in the matrix.
yeah, it's fucking nutty, man. The writing is just like, it's so incredible, man.
Here's one of the things they were able to do with that movie, and I remember this, like watching that with people that didn't like sci-fi movies,
Yeah,
but fucking loved The Matrix.
yeah,
Like we're talking like people that, I mean, I'm not shitting on Fast and Furious, but even some of the Fast and Furious crowds like fucking Matrix, dude. Action movie. They were able to do that, and to pull those people in and get them to watch it.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Well, even though
that doesn't always happen.
Despite the depth of the movie, like that, you can certainly go there if you want. It's still
You can also go on
written in a way.
autopilot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Just
written
watch
in a
it.
way that you have it's the way of the storytelling
Yeah.
that we circle back around to. Like, it's a simple A to B hero's journey,
Yeah.
yeah,
and the universes that it takes place in is set up and given exposition in such a way that you can. It's just little bits here and there. You'll get this exposition in the dialogue that'll, it's kind of like slow drip to you.
yeah. It really doesn't overwhelm you at all.
No.
I mean, not if you're paying attention.
No, not at all. So you get awakened from the Matrix, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Tank puts you in the chair, and he's like, "All right, what do you want to learn how to do?"
Everything.
Day one, what's the first thing that you're like, "I want to learn how to do this"?
Yeah. Do they have? Is it like a tattoo shop where they got a book I can look through?
We'll say in this situation, yeah.
Like you got a book of
they've got one.
programs.
Yeah,
I mean, dude, I'm all down for that. I'm like, I want this. Like, well, like, did y'all notice when he learned the drunken boxing?
Yeah.
And that was a nod to the Drunken Master movie, which the guy that did the choreography, he worked in this movie.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why they put it in the movie. I've picked up a few trivia things that I had no idea about.
All right,
18 years. Well, the rooftop scene.
Yeah.
Where they're fighting on the rooftops.
Yeah.
So this movie was starting to cost a lot of fucking money, right?
Right.
That's the same rooftop from Dark City.
Oh, no shit.
It is, and you can tell they try to like move a few things, but they just recycled that rooftop because they didn't want to have to build all that. They wanted them to shoot on location. And they were like, dude, this shit's already costing a lot of money, and we don't know if it's going to be a hit or not. So,
yeah,
y'all got to use the Dark City rooftops. A lot of it was shot in like Australia, Chicago.
Yeah.
But I never knew that. I mean, I don't know why I would, but
that's
when
cool,
they put them side by side, it's like, yeah, that's the exact same.
I love Dark City anyway.
I say another really terrific movie.
Yeah, that's on my list that we've got to get to at some point. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, it's been a very long time, and I really don't know why. This is why I personally think that I haven't revisited The Matrix, is because for 10 to 15 years before memes were memes, and before pop culture kind of evolved into what it was.
Yeah.
It all originated kind of with The Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
To a certain degree, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So whenever, anything that would be like humorous or anything like that would kind of get off the ground that is related to the internet, it would inevitably at some point have a Matrix tie to it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So for like, the last film came out in 2003. from 2003 probably up until 2010, if not longer, we were just constantly getting dick slapped in the face by Matrix shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you had all these grand debates, and you had all this shit about, this movie was fucking dog shit. The first one was the best one. The sequels were terrible. Like, it was constantly people bickering about the Matrix, and I think that, like, it says a lot about the film, but it also has a lot of burnout that comes with it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because, like, imagine if they were to release like Endgame or Infinity War, like at the time that they released the Matrix, and something, because like on the same scale, like something like that's never been done before, like, and all this kind of stuff. For the I mean, we're still talking about Endgame now, but we're talking about like the ramifications of what happened in Endgame and how it's going to affect the overall Marvel universe. That wasn't the end of the franchise. The last Matrix movie was the end of the franchise, and people just took it and ran with it. And I think that kind of left a bad taste in like a lot of people's mouths, and mine specifically, because it's like everybody talks about it. Like, I'm fucking tired of hearing about the fucking Matrix. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We had a VHS copy of the first Matrix, and my stepdad watched it all the fucking time, dude.
Really?
And and I kind of got burnt out on it.
And
Just saw it over and over and over again.
See, my experience with it when I was younger was completely different from y'all's. I didn't have an overexposure to it because of my access to stuff like that at the time.
Right.
And so when I was, about teenage or whatever, it's around the time that my father finally gave in and got us, like, the first upgrade to digital TV when that was first starting to be a thing, and on, it was either HBO or Cinemax, they had The Matrix playing, and I'd always wanted to see it. Never thought to rent it, but I still wanted to see it,
Right.
Or buy
and
it.
watched it. And well, it was around the time where my father had this habit where we would he was bootlegging before bootlegging films was a thing,
Like dubbing
And I'm
Right.
tapes.
sure y'all had a relative that did the same, where yeah, you hook the
Yeah.
VCR up to the TV,
Recorded off TV.
get those commercial free movie channels, and then just, how many tapes do you want to buy today,
Yeah. And you didn't really like that movie, so let's just record over that one.
Yeah.
You can only
And
do that
so
so many times.
my original copy of The Matrix was a recorded one off of HBO, and I probably I probably played that VHS till it was nothing. And
Didn't work no more.
it was one of those films, and after watching it was one of those movies, it's one of the rare films where it doesn't matter what point in the film it's on or anything. If it was on TV and it was on, I turned it to it, and more than likely I sat through the rest of it.
Right.
It's definitely a personal favorite of mine in the science fiction category. Like, I revisit this trilogy quite often.
Well, and to be honest with you, after this recent
Yeah.
viewing, I'm definitely going to put this in my rotation.
It's in rotation,
110%.
dude.
Yeah, because I mean, like I said, like, burnout, was too young to really
I
understand
didn't
what the
pay
fuck was
attention,
going on.
man. Like, I didn't
Yeah.
pick up on everything. I was a
And I
kid.
think it
I
holds.
just didn't.
It hits differently every time you watch it too.
Especially
Like,
being 30,
the way
Yeah.
the way it resonates with me now, as opposed to how it did, a couple years ago when I introduced my kids to it. The youngest loved all three of them. Like, she sat there with me and just binged the shit out of it. But yeah, it's just, they're really good.
Yeah.
Now, you would have been younger, Griffin. I was 12 when I watched this movie. In 1999, I was 12.
Oh, in 99, I was 9.
Yeah. So there, I mean,
Yeah.
I just didn't
No,
pick up on everything. Like,
Yeah.
watching
Well,
it now and
that's
then watching it all together too, because I think I had my order fucked up.
Right.
with the other two. Because when the
And
second one comes on, I'm like, wait a minute, I thought this happened in the third one. What the fuck?
I lost my point a second ago, but I've regained my traction. Did you guys notice in this watching of it, this trilogy broke a lot of general audience's brains
Oh yeah.
and has been doing so for quite a while. And I think the memes support it too. But just the idea, because the movie presents the dangerous idea to people, to a large population, of what if there's more? What if what we're getting isn't the full charade? There's some other shit going on.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I think that's why it's so easy to be memed. That's why it was memed to death, because it's the first movie to take that message and embed it so heavily that, you know,
Yeah.
it kind of hands you a blueprint of like, hey, connect the dots like this for a second. Think about it in this perspective. And you'll get there,
Yeah. Well, and after watching this, and of course watching when we do the one next week, they're doing the Matrix 4.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at the pictures right now, dude, and it's got Trinity in it.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's like, what are they gonna do?
An
You know what I mean?
aged
Like,
Trinity, like, I don't know.
yeah. Right. I mean, after watching these two and how much I've really enjoyed these, and after we watched the third one, I think that if they don't do like a split release to where they release it um on a streaming service when they release it on in
Well, it's
theaters,
on HBO, so
right.
it could
Yeah.
go there too. They've got the whole trilogy up on HBO Max.
Right. If they don't release it on HBO Max at the same time that they do it in theaters, I think we owe it to ourselves and to the Matrix to go and do a theater review. You know what I'm saying? Like
We owe it to
we did it with,
Morpheus
yeah, for sure,
because he
right?
believed
I
in
mean,
us the whole
yeah,
time.
he did. Yeah. I mean, we did it for like what, Endgame or Infinity War, one of those. I think it was Endgame, maybe. We all went to the theater and watched it, and then we did. I mean, The Matrix is like it done more for cinema than the Marvel movies have to an extent. You know what I mean? Fucking ridiculous to even think about, but like, Jesus.
So of course they got Keanu coming. They got Trinity, Neil Patrick Harris for some reason. Morpheus is not on the IMDb, but it would be cool if he shows up in that fucking movie. Like,
yes,
maybe they're keeping that a secret.
Now?
Like, I don't know. There's got to be a Morpheus, dude.
Watching it though made me kind of sad a little bit. And the reason why is because, before the advent of Marvel, you had an era of films where ideas like The Matrix would get made, and had these movies not came out when they did, I really feel like Matrix 4 wouldn't even be happening. I don't personally think that this trilogy deserves to have any more content added to it. I think it is a full story left with
Yeah.
enough vagueness to be debated on and talked about and revisited,
Dude,
But
the
it made
way
me
it
sad
ends, man,
because
it's just a nice little bow tied up. Like,
it just made me sad because it's like it made me realize just how much time has been devoted to Marvel now. And not that it's a bad thing, but it is.
yeah, well, ever
It's
since
good
The
and it's
Matrix came
bad.
out, because I looked at it earlier, X-Men came out in 2000.
Wow.
So the last 18 years,
Yeah.
we've been
No,
getting Marvel movies.
21. The last 20 years, actually, man.
Fucking ridiculous. Well, I'm ready to rate it, man. I mean, we can sit here. This is the thing. We can sit here and dissect the film watching two of the three, or we can really like dig in deep whenever we watch the third one and go in and talk about some of these things. Like, the Oracle stuff and the architect stuff, and how everything ends. Because Adam watched it recently. I haven't watched it in a very long time, and it's like it's going to be hard to discuss some of these ideas when like the movie's out and it's been out since 2003. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so like I'm gonna make some notes for the next episode when we do it and
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah, once we
And-
watch that last one, because it's a whole nother 2 hours,
But yeah, keep that
Can really get
thought in the
into
back of
it.
y'all's keep that thought in the back of your mind now, Griff. The idea that like that they're not leaving the Matrix. They never did.
Right. Okay.
I feel like it's
Alright.
gonna make the ending hit a little different for you.
Shit. I like getting hit different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just want to say, I never thought that Trinity was that hot.
No.
I don't, and there was this whole thing. Remember, like
Yeah, I remember.
she was so hot in the movie, and it's like, I mean, she looks like she now. I don't know if you guys have seen her recently.
Mm.
Age well, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, but she
Has been a
probably
long
got
time.
in shape.
Nah,
Yeah.
dude, she's chunky in the photos, set photos. She's got that quarantine weight. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
I mean,
we all got
everybody's
a
got it,
little
dude.
of
You see
that.
Will Smith?
Yeah,
Everybody's got a little
yeah.
quarantine,
I seen him.
A star, dude. I'm giving
I'm
it.
giving
What's
him.
that thing they plug into them? They have a word. They have a name. They call it. It's just a plug.
It looked like it hurt.
Yeah, especially the first time.
Yeah,
I bet it
right.
feels good when they pull it out.
Yeah, right.
You
You're
know
like,
what I mean?
ooh.
You get like the
Yeah.
piss shivers, like
Yeah.
ooh, you know.
Oh, thank you for pulling that out. It's like pulling out a splinter.
Having looked at like
that sounds like a really crazy disease you get on the open sea. Like you got to be careful. Why you get the piss shivers?
shiver be piss be timbers. Having looked at all the like simulation theory stuff,
Yeah.
it was kind of cool watching The Matrix again and like thinking about that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if it ain't already happening, we're not too far away from it happening.
Right.
I'd pop in The Matrix.
Fly around a little bit.
Yeah, just like VR.
Yeah, it's like VR on crack.
Yeah, why not, dude?
More or less. Yeah.
Be fun.
Well, like Cypher said, ignorance is bliss.
Until it's not fun anymore. It's like, oh no.
Yeah.
The machines are taking over. I'd be the first one to sell out, dude. They'd be like, we need to know where Zion's at. I'm like, it's right down there.
It's like you want to leave the Matrix enough, kind of like on a gaming level. You want to leave to know a few codes and exploits, not really wanting to stick around for the mods.
Yeah. Or the hacks.
Yeah, fuck the hacks, dude.
Aimbots, dude.
Aimball hacks, fuck.
God damn it.
Yeah, what are we gonna do? They better balance this shit soon. Release a patch or fucking some update notes or something. You know what
The
I'm saying?
devs abandoned the Matrix a long time ago.
Running rampant.
On IMDb, it's rated one of the top. It's in the top 16. Like
The
movies.
first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Deserves a spot on that. I guess that's a top 100 list or something.
I mean,
I might even put it a little higher,
For me, it gets a full, like 1 and 2 so far, and the whole trilogy eventually. But we'll still rate it. But it gets a full chaotic from me.
All right.
I give it 3 Agent Smiths.
Mr. Anderson.
The great thing about being me is there's so many of me.
He's so good, dude.
Mr. Anderson.
I was like mouth breathing.
It's like one of you has a future. The other one does not. Like the way they dubbed that part.
I always love that scene where he's like, I just learned Kung Fu. And he's like, show me.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Hugo Weaving watched a few episodes of CSI Miami and took that dude's fucking acting cues. Because he would say all kinds of shit, he'd be like, how about this one? How about I give you the finger and you give me my phone call?
Yeah.
And he's like, How can you talk when you cannot speak?
He was programmed low and slow.
All right, guys. We got a couple little movie news things here. So Trav dropped this in here from Bloody Disgusting. Amazon scrapped Dark Tower pilot is the ultimate what if for Stephen King's constant readers. The man in black fled across the desert and the losers followed. The road to Stephen King's The Dark Tower on screen has been long and costly, but two have come close. In 2017, Sony and director Nikolaj Arcel brought the fantasy epic to life with a feature film starring Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey. Although a minor box office success, the film flopped with critics and fans, nixing any plans for further sequels. 2 years later, MRC and executive producer slash showrunner Glenn Mazara attempted a pivot to the small screen with a more faithful reimagining of King's work by dialing back the origins of the series. See 1997's prequel novel Wizard in Glass. Mazzara envisioned a multi-season arc for Amazon, and director Stephen Hopkins shot the pilot in Croatia. Sadly, the streaming giant passed on the series in early 2020, leaving the 60-minute pilot in limbo. Fans were in turmoil. Recently, however, the Losers Club was fortunate enough to screen the pilot and gathered together to palaver over what they saw. Below, you can hear an in-depth rundown of the episode in addition to their thoughts as they move along. What's more, the losers spoke to Mazara himself, who regaled them with a handful of insightful behind-the-scenes anecdotes and piles of notes for what could have been the future episodes and seasons. Without spoiling anything, Mazara truly remembered the face of his father. An entire saga, more or less, amounts to a pitiful what if in King's Dominion. So why haven't they released this online? I mean, it'll find its way online at some point.
Yeah,
right?
see, they passed on it, so they don't want to pay the money to put it on their damn thing. And I mean, it's a damn shame because that's what we always say is like it needs a series. We need more. Like we can't do this in a fucking movie, dude. We need a TV series.
Right.
And it sucks because they're like, we're doing it, we're not doing it, we're doing it, we're not doing it.
I really want this pilot to leak.
I would like to see it
so bad.
You see that shot down there from it?
Yeah.
That's a fucking bummer, dude.
So
it'll be confined. It'll be confined to a midnight, 1 o'clock screening, like they did that weird ass Wheel of Time pilot.
Yeah. So what do they mean by dialing back to the origins of the series? C97's prequel novel.
So in the novel Wizard in Glass, there's a moment where Roland starts explaining backstory, and it's a chunk of the novel. It's a good 2/3 of the book where it explains Roland after he, like, you read the first book, so after he fights his trainer and some more things happen or whatever, his father sends him to the barony of Magus with him and his original quartet, and it's just all the shenanigans there that leads it. I mean, it's a point that also shows him where, like, his quest for the tower really starts, and that actually gets covered in even more detail in the first couple of arcs of the comic books. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't. They weren't adding anything original. Like, it wasn't like them sitting there writing a whole new story. They were gonna do it. This looks like they were gonna start doing it in chronological order. They were gonna build up to him doing the backstory shit, and it's gonna cut to him in the desert fighting Walter. Like, it was gonna probably do a time gap between the moment Walter betrays Stephen Deschain, his father, and fucking everything goes to shit in Gilead. And then it was probably gonna fast forward to, okay, this is why Roland's in the fucking desert chasing his ass.
Right.
Tell you what's crazy, man. Some of the shit they have on Amazon and they don't want to make this. Like,
I know.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know. Bad call.
Well, I mean,
Like, do we really need one more Amazon or any streaming service original where the show is about a woman fucking her way to the top? Because I've seen a lot of these shows, a lot, and it's the same fucking shit, guys.
right.
And it blows my goddamn mind. And it makes sense why we only get news on shit like The Boys or Stranger Things, or like why there's not more content like that. It's because the larger 75% of the shit that gets put on there is for, and you can agree with me or not, but it's for the housewife,
Right.
the stay at home, the one, the person who's going to be binge watching Netflix a hell of a lot more than people like us.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but you got to think, like, I've got to sit here and think that the audience, the built-in audience already for um the Dark Tower, and then all of the people that have not had the time or the pleasure of reading the books that would like, that in, you know, a different interpretation of it or a different way to digest that information, the audience would be there and you would get the numbers. I mean,
Yeah.
I think so too. I think the carryover from services like Disney Plus, from fans of like Star Wars, and that whole demographic would be the ones sucked into the Dark Tower, I think.
yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it is a long, like Stephen King's version of Lord of the Rings.
Hmm.
You got a character who's on a long ass journey. He's got to fucking walk there, and god damn it, he can't just get there peacefully.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so it hits all the check marks. I mean, it's got fantasy. I mean, it really is multi-genre storytelling, because it just King manages to add all the different types of elements to it. Horror, sci-fi, comedy. Like there really is a little bit of everything in this story. And it is a shame that this property is having such a tough time getting its
Yeah.
ball going, because
Yeah.
it could definitely snowball into so much more.
Yeah. Well, and I thought that, like, when they did The Stand, that would be a good jumping off point.
Yeah. To
And
go into the show, and
but people shit on The
they
Stand,
could
man.
even use the same dude.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, he was
Well,
good.
and people, I don't understand. People are more than capable of taking in crossover stuff now, to the
Yeah.
point where, because of the success of Marvel and all of its leading the charge and that type of storytelling, you can you can take the parts of the Marvel formula that work and apply it to the Dark Tower without necessarily turning it into the MCU.
Right.
Um, I feel like they could have, and just this one movie, if it was one of the things where they were like, hey, we don't want to risk it entirely, and we don't want to really delve into sequel, stuff for this movie just yet. They could have done the Dark Tower film in a way that it's set up to where in future films, shit could be brought up. It's like, why is this happening? It's like, oh, well, we hear there's a gunslinger heading to the tower, and they're like, oh fuck, and audiences would understand it for the most part, especially considering that people go into these movies are Stephen King fans. They probably read every goddamn book the man's ever published. They're aware of what those references are,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've
and
watched it all.
the studios don't want to take that risk, and it's completely in the realm of irony, because the Dark Tower film is exactly that. It is nothing but references thrown at your face. And if you didn't read the books, you didn't get why the fuck you were looking at half the shit. Like why
Right.
some of the shots that were there were even there, and what their context was.
Right.
But,
Well,
see the episode of the Dark Tower
yeah,
for more fucking Travis shitting on it, I guess.
right. Well, I mean, and you would think that like it came out and made all the money, right?
Both
People
of
loved
them.
it. Yeah, and I really enjoyed both of them for what they were. I mean,
Yeah.
I never read it. I don't have the time to read 1,200 pages right now, but I thought that was going to be a jumping off point for
More
because it
King.
wasn't long. Yeah, well, because it wasn't long after that for and the Dark Tower came out, right?
Yeah.
Because it came out first, and then the Dark Tower kind of became what it became, and then after that, it's like now it's kind of in limbo. It made its money. The Stand came out, and people either loved it or hated it to a certain extent. Like the critics, especially. So it's like now's the perfect time to where if like one publisher, like if Sony or whoever got their hands on this and they're like, this is what we want to do. All right, we want to make the Dark Tower, and then depending on how the season one goes, we'll use that as a jumping off point. And as more seasons get produced, then we may continue to use that as a jumping off point to adapt other bits of King's work because you're already going to have some of the set pieces from some of that stuff, right, Trav? Like
Yeah.
if they adapt a lot of this Dark Tower stuff, then some of those set pieces and some of those locations are going to be built in and already going to be produced, right?
Well, just like you said, there's they have several setting changes, of course, but they're constantly double backing to places in the stories. And and honestly, if you could seriously take, because I think we brought it up before on the podcast, you could seriously take the entire show format that Lost went by, that entire template.
Right.
You could take that, rework it, rework the characters and all of this, and you would have the story of the Dark Tower. Because in theory, I don't know how far you got into Lost, but I know Adam finished it. Near the end, there's this there's this artifact that's got to be removed in the middle of the island, and when it gets removed, the in-game shit starts happening.
Right.
The island's falling apart. Typical Indiana Jones shenanigans ensue. And while this weird thing's going on, you have another timeline that's far in the future, and everyone's at this church, and they're talking about the idea that the everything on the island happened, and they're all together, like people who have been dead for seasons. Like it's this weird thing going on. Then you have another time, like there's just so many different workings, and it's like it all works just like the Dark Tower storytelling does too, because you have different where and whens, you have different shit going on simultaneously, like, and it's written in a way to where you can digest it and not be confused. But when you step back and work everything into how it would work chronologically, a lot of shit's happening at once.
Right.
And they could take Lost. I mean, it's like I said at the beginning, man. You could take Lost template, rewrite a few things, and you could do the Dark Tower like that.
Right.
And it would be good, I think.
Yeah.
It'd be a hell of a lot better than clearly what they're pumping out right now.
Yeah. Well, maybe in the future we'll get somebody's interpretation and vision of the Dark Tower.
It's
I mean,
bound to happen at some point, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, I'm not holding my breath by any means, but
Me either.
within
I've stopped. Like the movie was good for what it was, but it let me down in such a way that like it was the final nail in the coffin. I was already kind of getting over the idea of a Dark Tower film ever coming out, and then it did. It shot my expectations through the roof, and then it completely did not meet those. And so now it's just one of those things where yeah, it's a great property, but outside of the books, nothing else. It's not gonna. It's dead. You know, it's a dead franchise.
Oh, I'll give it 10 years. I'll give it 10
It's gonna
years.
take a lot more comic book stories to come and go before I think they'll ever give it the proper attention that it needs.
Right. So,
You got to find the right company, man, that's willing to sink the cash into it.
yeah.
And they
And I
have to.
thought
And they have
Amazon
to
was gonna
be.
be. It ain't like
And
he
they
doesn't
really
have enough
gotta.
money.
And you know, the story has violence. The story has really, graphic moments. And I would want it to hold a R rating so that it could really make those moments impactful.
Yeah.
But them maintaining an R rating for the series, they could still pull it off without being excessive or ridiculous.
Right.
If they could do the storytelling in terms of like Lord of the Rings, where it's just, man, we got to get there, then we'll fucking deal with it. Like
Yeah.
it's not going to be every 10 minutes a gunfight. It's a lot of talking, a lot of like the dilemma of, because there's so much shit going on with each of those characters. And
Right.
yeah, you know. Anyway,
Next, we've got, they're making Knives Out too.
I did not know
So,
this.
yeah. So,
I'm
Knives
excited
Out,
about this.
I really enjoyed Knives Out. I thought that what Ryan Johnson was able to do with that first one was fantastic. Little mystery film.
Yeah.
And Knives Out 2 teams Ed Norton with Daniel Craig and Dave Batista.
Oh.
It's quickly becoming quite clear that Knives Out 2 will carry over the tradition of featuring an impressive ensemble cast. Led by Daniel Craig as Master Detective Blanc, the original murder mystery movie was written and directed by Ryan Johnson. After its release to great critical and financial success in 2019, Netflix forked over more than 450. I'm guessing 450 million, but right here it's just $450 to secure the exclusive rights to two Knives Out sequels to be written and directed by Johnson, with Craig returning. The next installment of the series continues Blanc's adventures with the detective now investigating an all new mystery with a totally different cast of characters. Recently, it was reported that Guardians of the Galaxy and Army of the Dead star Dave Batista has joined the cast in a main role. Now, a new report from Deadline reveals that Norton is part of the ensemble as well, and with just 3 confirmed names so far, the A-list cast of Knives Out 2 is already very impressive. I mean, Ed Norton hasn't done anything in a minute,
It's
right?
been a minute.
He was in that Alita for like 2.5 seconds where he had the fucked up eyes,
Yeah.
not enough to really be considered a role. Which, by the way, I would watch a sequel to Alita. I know we probably brought it up when we reviewed it, but I would
yeah,
absolutely like to see more of that story play out.
yeah, 100%. Um, but yeah, this is looking pretty interesting. Like I really enjoyed Knives Out, and to me, Knives Out kind of had the same effect that Baby Driver had, right? Like you don't really need to do a sequel for it because it felt really good standing on its own. But it's great that he created an incredible character
Yeah.
with Daniel Craig's Blanc as the detective.
Yeah.
And then you're going to take that idea, move that
New
character to a
case.
different place. Yeah,
Yes.
dude. So you're going to get a whole new cast of characters, which, like, how dysfunctionally crazy and brilliant was the family from the original Knives Out? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited to see where they go with this and how they treat it. It's going to be really cool and really interesting. And they're doing 2 sequels. So
Yeah.
I don't know if, I mean, they could in theory film them back to back if it's going to be 2 different, well, it'll probably be two different cases, two different families,
Yeah.
2 different, which is fine with me. I'm cool with that. So, but yeah,
Wow.
Knives Out too. Yeah. James Gunn here, speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy from the last post. James Gunn will never say never about returning to the MCU after Guardians Volume 3. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 director James Gunn has rekindled hope for his return for Volume 4, though remains steadfast in his assertion that the upcoming sequel will be the end of the arc he has planned from the first movie. Gunn recently revealed that he plans for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, but his recent comments on the subject will no doubt have MCU fans crossing their fingers for further nostalgic adventures or intergalactic adventures. So basically, somebody tweeted the artist formerly known as Super Duper Dave.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Dave Batista? I don't know.
I think so.
So they tweeted, said Drax isn't going anywhere. He just won't be played by this dude. By the time G3 comes out, I'll be 54 years old, for God's sakes. I'm expecting everything to start sagging any second now. And then James Gunn said, there's no Drax without you, buddy. You are the MCU's Drax the Destroyer, and as far as I'm concerned, could never be replaced, and you have the right to do whatever you want with your acting choices. And then, would you do a fourth Guardians of the Galaxy movie if given the chance? So someone tweeted him that, and he said, me, never say never, but I see Volume 3 as the end of the Guardians story I started telling back with Volume 1. So, I didn't read a lot of Guardians of the Galaxy, but there's different, just like every Marvel team, right? There's different interpretations of it, right?
I'm sure.
And well, they kind of set it up at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 with Stallone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like nothing's came of that. I don't know if anything will ever come of that, but it's an interesting idea where they could still take that cast of characters or a similar cast of characters and continue with their, space adventures. So, I'm cool with whatever I'm super excited for that Suicide Squad film.
Yeah.
Just because of his involvement and his filmmaking and everything. So I'm interested to see what they do with it, and I'm cool with it. If they do Guardians 3, 4, 5, 6, I'm fine with that.
It's a cool cast. And dude,
mean,
Dave Batista can say
but at
whatever
the
he
same
wants to say,
time,
but if the price is right, he'll fucking come back make another movie, dude. I mean,
but at the same time though, I really think that, you know, with the way these the way the MCU is being so vastly populated now with all these different characters, I think if it's a hit with audiences and they want more, give them a trilogy, but they need to seal the deal on some of these, on some of the properties. From then on, let them have a capacity as a cameo or a supporting character, but
Yeah.
you don't. 3 is staying long enough to be missed when you're gone.
Right.
Outside of that,
well,
with films, I mean, only so many films have been able. Only one property I can think of has managed to go this long, and it's even questionable now. But even with Star Wars,
Yeah. I mean, you're right. But here's the thing too that I was kind of thinking about whenever I was reading this, it's like what if James Gunn decides to do something other than Guardians of the Galaxy? You know what I mean?
as a filmmaker, I will gladly watch any of his next, his next ideas.
Yeah.
And if they're MCU related, that's awesome. If they're not, that's still awesome.
Yeah. So it would be cool if all that shit happened. It is what it is. He's back. If he decided to do something else with a different property, it would be like he did Brightburn, right? Didn't
Yes,
James Gunn do Brightburn?
mm-hmm.
he did.
So he did a horror superhero film
Yeah.
that was done very well. So you can't pigeonhole him as the space sci-fi Marvel guy. You know what I mean?
Well, now he's doing Suicide Squad.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I think that he gets pigeonholed as a comedic filmmaker because of Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff. But I think for real though, if he did something and did it seriously, um, I think it would be great, man. And I would like to see his interpretation of whatever Marvel hero, like Ghost Rider or something. You know what I mean? Like what's stopping him from, you know, doing something like that? And I don't know, what Marvel thinks or whatever about that, but
It's
That's
like
just me
Brightburn,
thinking out
man.
loud.
Ain't nothing funny about that shit, you know?
I mean, that was a fucking horror film, right?
I did see where Batista turned down the Suicide Squad movie to make the Army of the Dead movie.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then I saw another article where Dave Batista wants to be the world champion of directors. And that
I
may
didn't
be
know that.
why he's saying, like, he's like, yeah, I'm going to be older. I don't know if I want to. He wants to direct.
I mean,
He might have a vision. You know,
yeah.
he's been in enough movies. He went from wrestling to, you
Well,
know,
I want to pull up his IMDb real quick because I'm looking at it here. I mean, of course, a shitload of WWE, WWF shit,
yep.
and then um, he was in Heist, Marauders, Guardians of the Galaxy, Blade Runner, Hotel Artemis. There's a. I want to see him because he's kind of been put in as either a comedic actor, right,
Yeah,
or an action
like
star.
the Stuber movie,
Yes.
which was
Yeah.
funny.
Right.
You want to see him do something
But
serious?
well, that little bit that he was in Blade Runner
Mm-hmm.
was incredible.
Yeah.
So I would love to see him do something like 100% serious. I think that he has the chops to pull something like that off.
He's going to be in
Um,
Dune, too.
yeah, I know, and I'm very excited to see him in that because that'll really show us, what he's
Also,
what
Knives
he's going to
Out,
be
too.
capable. Yeah. Batista, yep. And then
Yeah.
Universe's Most Wanted.
I don't know about that.
Says set in a small town whose residents find themselves under attack after a spaceship carrying the universe's most wanted and dangerous criminals crash lands in their backyard. I mean, that if that's not an animated film, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it sounds like an animated film to me,
Now look
So
at the one at the top in the Lost Lands. Look at that one. That's a George R. Martin story,
Paul
directed
W. S.
by
Anderson.
yeah.
Whoa, okay.
Wonder what's gonna be up there. I mean, it's still was it something about with a werewolf, but
Yeah. It's got Mila Jovovich, of course, But I don't know. I'll check it out.
yeah.
Last up here, we've got a lot of Snyderverse and DC news, especially since we did, the Snyder cut. But here, Zack Snyder's Man of Steel 2 plans included Brainiac and more Lex Luthor. Snyder has shed some light on what he would have done with Man of Steel 2 in a new interview with Bro Bible. Bro, all right. Bro
Primal.
Bible this week. Yeah. Snyder spoke about the release of his next movie, Army of the Dead, which hits Netflix later this month. As the filmmaker is also still writing the success of the Snyder Cut, the conversation also turned to the filmmaker's work in the DCEU, along with what could have been. After helming Henry Cavill in Man of Steel in 2013, Snyder directed the crossover movies Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, and Justice League. He never got the chance to develop Man of Steel 2, and now that writer Tanishi Coates, I guess that's how you pronounce it, and producer J.J. Abrams are rebooting Superman for Warner Brothers, the sequel's chances seem far less likely. In his new interview, Snyder expanded on what could have happened in Man of Steel 2, which would have involved bringing in a powerful extraterrestrial foe. So we talked about a Brainiac movie,
Mm-hmm.
but I do think that the Kryptonians that are in the Phantom Zone are probably still around, and there was always a possibility for their return. Fiora, which is General Zod's right hand woman, and whoever's left. That always was the thing that was out there that we talked about as a possible sequel or follow up. And I was always thinking And I just always think that it's best to give Superman these kind of extraterrestrial challenges because I think that you got to be careful with his. I mean, other than Lex, and of course you'd have to continue with Lex because Lex is his real nemesis. But I think you really have to look outside of the Earth for challenges for him because of how powerful he is. As far as Cavill's version of Superman, Zack Snyder says he doesn't see himself taking any drastic changes with the character, instead continuing on with the same Kal-El we saw in Man of Steel and Justice League. I don't know that I would have taken him in a different direction than the direction I was taking him. I think Henry is a great Superman. I have a great time working with Henry. We endeavored to make him in Man of Steel a modern Superman in that in his relationships to society and or the modern world. We did that now and what would happen if, and that's kind of what the movie is about, frankly. Man of Steel is about what if we really had a Superman? What would it mean? Um, I mean, they've never done Brainiac, right? Like in a live action.
Well, they've done him in some of the TV shows.
Right, but we've never seen him like on the big screen. You know what I mean?
No.
I mean,
Big budget
to
Brainiac.
me, yeah. Well, and you got to think about it, like
Big budget
Brainiac,
brain.
Brainiac and Lex Luthor's, like them two together has always been a very interesting combo, and it's always been a very interesting way that Superman's had to deal with them kind of teamed up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's logical for them to go with Man of Steel. After introducing Darkseid and doing all that, after doing Zod, after doing um, Doomsday, like you've got to, what more iconic villain is there that we haven't seen other than Brainiac? Because I mean, of course, you got Lex pulling all the strings and doing all this elaborate shit. It makes sense, and it sucks that we're probably never going to get that. And I would love to have seen Snyder's interpretation of what Brainiac is and would have been,
Well, at the end of Justice League, we finally get like he's, Superman in his final form.
Yeah, for
you know
sure.
What I mean? I would have loved to just see more of that Superman.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
no, he ain't taking shit from nobody. He's got fuck you money,
Yeah.
Just fucking people up.
Yeah. The way God intended it.
Yeah.
Oh, like yeah, you get that confident moment too where Steppenwolf brings the axe down. It doesn't even scathe him,
Yeah.
and he's just like not impressed, and then he
bitch.
freezes that shit.
Yeah.
Seeing that Superman, man, a whole movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would have been there.
So I would have went not one, not fucking one. But that's everything I've seen so far. I mean, Brainiac, would have loved to have seen that. We got some Batista talk and whatnot, but I didn't really see much more news.
Some recycled stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's we did get the Phase 4.
I think that's in the trailer. Thing.
Yeah. So there's not really a whole lot to talk about there other than to watch it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And Loki comes out in June. So, and the reason this is why Loki comes out in June, Trav, and I had no idea. My brother texted me about this. The Bad Batch.
Mm-hmm.
It's what's playing on Disney Plus right now.
Makes sense.
So I'm gonna. He's watched it and he said it was amazing. So I'm gonna
gotta check it out.
Acquire it. Yeah, I'm gonna acquire it. And they finished up Invincible.
Yeah, I got a notification when I got on that. It was like the show's finished now. If you want to binge it,
yeah,
Corey said it was good.
Yeah, I've seen some of the fight scenes and stuff, and it looks pretty.
I really like the animation style.
Yeah, I do too. So, but yeah, that's all the news that the news that you need to know.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
It's nice to see dude out here making some shit that's not fucking Walking Dead.
Yeah, I know, right? And I've always heard that Invincible comic series was incredible, and it's probably a good idea that they took it the animated route. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, an honorable mention that I'm gonna throw out, and I was telling Adam last night. So far what I've watched of it, Jupiter's Legacy seems pretty decent.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Shit, I didn't even know it was out.
The pilot is absolutely worth your time though.
On Netflix?
Yeah, you've seen this plot before, but it's still interesting enough.
Right.
I'll leave it at that.
Shit, I'm interested. So are they releasing it weekly as well, or is this
To my knowledge, the whole thing is classic Netflix, man. You got the whole thing.
good deal? Can't beat classic Netflix,
Yeah,
bro.
right.
Yeah, bruh.
Classic Netflix, bro.
You stream and dream, bro. Stream and dream.
If that wasn't their tagline, you know what I'm saying? Like it needs to be. What are you doing tonight? Stream and dream?
Are you still
No, stream and
watching?
dream. Yeah. Are you dreaming or streaming? But I'm ready for some trailers, man. I'm very excited to. I mean, we've got a bunch of good trailers lined up here, so I'm, get jiggy with it. I'm excited to watch this next Matrix film, though, for real.
Me too.
You gonna watch it again?
I might.
I mean, shit, might as well.
I
Like,
might watch all
did y'all
three of them
watch?
again.
Did y'all watch the Animatrix?
Yep.
I've never seen that.
I sure have.
I've watched it, and it's not bad.
I like how they managed, how they gave us a little. They gave us the one short story was about the boy who pesters
That he
Neo
wakes up.
in the movies.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's one of them it's actually his story.
it's crazy that they did that. Like, I mean, how far ahead of its time was it? It had a animated tie-in to the film. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
just
Like,
some loose ends.
yeah,
Just in case you wanted to know, just some by the ways.
I mean, even the games, man. Enter the Matrix. It was telling you what. God, what's her name? Jada Pinkett Smith.
oh,
Damn it.
Will Smith's wife.
I
can't
can't remember her
her
name in the movie.
That game tells you her and her right hand man. It tells you their story and adventure in the Matrix up until the point that they meet in the movies. Like that's how that game ends.
Yeah, I think I remember her being on the box for the game.
Because remember the whole idea when they go to that meeting at the beginning of Reloaded.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
They all just got done like being chased by the machines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the final level in Enter the Matrix.
Okay.
Sunglasses at night meeting.
You have like a gunner final fight where you're fucking hauling ass down the little narrow corridors of the subway and their ship, and like those machines are after you. You got to shoot them off and everything. That was a good game. I beat the shit out of it.
It's like I made that game my bitch.
Oh man.
Niobe.
GameCube.
Yeah, that's right.
I almost called her Orifice.
Shit.
I almost said it's like we got Morpheus, you got Orifice, and
Morpheus used her orifices though. You know what
they
I'm
hooking
saying?
back up.
I mean, do you blame? I mean, if I was Jada Pick, I would definitely be banging Morpheus all the time. I'm just saying.
In the
It's
Matrix
Morpheus.
or like in the real world?
Both.
She could get kinky in the Matrix.
Yeah, that's true. Like,
So how do y'all want to dissect these trailers, man?
Nah, dude, in the Matrix, Morpheus is like, I'll be taking a little blue pill. You know?
wait, before we get into the trailers, did you see the trivia thing? Switch the female character in the first film, right?
Blonde hair.
Yeah. So the Wachowski brothers originally wanted, because whenever you go into the Matrix, your interpretation of yourself manifests itself physically, right? So they called her Switch because the idea was that she was going to be a woman in real life, but whenever she would go into the Matrix, she would be a man. And that's why they called her Switch. And I was like, I know that, this came out in 99 and the studio's the ones who shot that down, but that would have been a really interesting concept for 99. You know what I mean? Like, it would have been cool to see that representation. And I'm sure that they're probably going to do something like that.
I was going to say, if they want to do that in the new one, it'll be okay.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, that's whenever I was reading that, I'm like, that's such a Matrix thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a Matrix thing because you never think about it. Like, if you interpret yourself as a different sex or age or gender or race or anything, then that's what would happen, right?
Yeah, like the surrogate.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's just something to think
program.
about. Yeah.
Program a dick.
I mean, I'm sure there's digital dick that you can get.
You get to pick your size. I did see in the trivia, whenever Neo wakes up and he's in the pod and the thing comes up to him and he's like super skinny.
Yeah.
He shot that after they wrapped on photography. He had to lose weight and lose the muscle.
Oh shit.
To shoot that. So they shot that like later on. He went home. They like, go home, get skinny, don't work out, come back later and shoot that. And I thought that was cool that he put the work in, man. Yeah. Some people used to give that guy shit, man, but
he's a good dude.
When he goes in on a movie, man, he fucking goes in. Like, and this is, I forgot to bring it up, dude. This is where you see like John Wick being born.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because he's fucking wicking it up, dude.
Yeah. He's getting wicky with it. You know what I'm saying?
He's wicking them off.
I did see, news articles and stuff like, so Keanu's sister has some kind of illness, right?
Yeah, I think she's paralyzed or.
Yeah.
She's in bad shape.
Right. And like, I can't remember exactly what it was, and I'm sure you can look it up, but from this article or this thing that I was watching, he was donating like half of the money that he makes off of films to this charity research place to try to find a cure for it. Like,
help people. It's just, and he took care of her.
Yeah, like he's so like humble as a dude.
Really.
And everybody that has ever any normal civilian that has encountered Keanu Reeves, I've never heard anything negative.
Never, dude. Like when you see him like riding the subway with his Subway sandwich.
Yeah.
Sad Keanu, and he's just sitting there thinking. I saw a video one time where they asked him about that picture, and he's like, "Oh, the sad Keanu." He's like, "I'm just, he's just spaced out, looking at the ground."
Yeah.
I saw a video a couple of years ago where he was he was flying commercial, and it was like a small flight from like the big airport out to like a little one.
Yeah.
And they canceled the ride. So all the people are standing inside trying to figure out what they're going to do. And there's no plane that anybody can get on. And Keanu's like, I tell you guys what, I'm going to rent a bus. And everybody here that's going to the same airport, like, you can ride.
Yeah.
And he gave them a tour. Like, while they were driving, he was like, if you'll look to your left, you'll see whatever bridge or... Can you imagine that, like, being on that bus and like, dude, this craziest shit happened today.
Yeah. We reenacted Speed.
And he has like a crazy motorcycle obsession. Yeah. I saw his motorcycle collection.
Yeah.
Nice, man. Cool dude.
Yeah. Cool. And this makes me want to like segue from Matrix into the John Wick trilogy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like Keanu gets, I mean, he's an easy target, right? For people to be like, whoa, like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And he did that in this movie.
Yeah,
there was a few times where he was like, what's happening?
Yeah.
It's like, well, Bill and Ted, that's just another version of the Matrix, dude. Bill and Ted.
Oh my
All it
God!
is.
Yeah,
Tie it all together.
yeah.
Swap board.
Wow.
Like a come
But
with egg woe, you know?
come with egg roll. All right, I'm ready for trailers before I lose it on this egg roll shit. Come with egg roll. First, we got Marvel celebrates their own movies. They don't need people to fucking celebrate for them. They can celebrate themselves, you know?
Is this the Phase 4 thing?
Yeah, this is the Phase 4 like teaser. It shows some new footage from like the Eternals and stuff like that.
All right.
But you know what it doesn't do?
It doesn't come with an egg roll.
It doesn't come with egg roll.
My little Shang-Chi.
Yeah, that's true.
He
It might
comes with
come
an egg
with
roll
egg.
and a wok. It comes with stir fry. All right, y'all ready?
Yeah, I'm ready,
Yeah.
man.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
Egg roll.
Damn. On your left. Oh my God, it's in here. Woo-hoo-hoo. Man, I wish I saw that in the theater. It's amazing. We're still waiting on that movie.
I know. It comes out soon though.
They said it's been finished for a year. It's been sitting there. Untouched.
I'll touch it.
Mm-hmm. There
What?
it is.
Egg roll.
That looks like it's gonna be good, man.
Yeah, it does.
I'm down for some kung fu fighting. Was that the Eternals? Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that Angelina Jolie in the Eternals?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Dude, before it's over with, they'll have Tom Cruise in a fucking Marvel movie. Like,
I kind of hope so.
everybody's
I
doing a
like
Marvel
Tom
movie.
Cruise.
Will Smith. We'll see you there. Maybe.
I'm
See
excited,
you on Disney
man.
Plus.
Yeah, right. I'm interested in the Eternals so much because I know nothing about them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, I don't know
yeah,
anything.
it's got the fucking dude from Silicon Valley in it, and
Right?
that makes me super
And he's
excited. You know
fucking
what I'm
buffed up.
saying? He's got a fucking 8-pack, dude. I mean, I considered sleeping
Too
with
many egg rolls, man.
him. Come on, well, man. I haven't watched this Venom trailer. Corey asked me last night, "Hey, have you watched the Venom trailer?" I said, "I'm pod locked on it, dude."
Let's pod drop it.
Yeah, let's pot it like it's hot. All right, I'm ready.
You ready, Trav?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, play.
The fuck's all these chickens about?
Making breakfast. Catch up. Can you imagine being hungover dealing with that?
Fuck no, dude.
Right here. Trav pointed that out. You see what he did?
No, what?
There's a magazine with Stan Lee on it, and he fixes, he pushes it back with his tentacle.
Oh, no, I didn't even.
Trav pointed that out. Didn't even notice it. That's Stan Lee's cameo. I like the song choice. Mr. Hardy. He looks fucking nuts.
Yeah, right.
And that's why I'm not taking the vaccine.
Yeah, for real, dude. Fuck that.
It looks good, man.
I mean, I'm trying not to get overhyped, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that trailer did look really good. So
Like
Those carnage shots look good.
yeah, they kind of nailed the Venom look. You know what I mean? Like, so
we're gonna give you a chance, Sony.
Yeah, I mean, they get one, dude. It better come with Egwell. So that's all I'm saying.
It's Sony.
I'm excited about this next movie. It's trending number 3, dude.
Yeah, dude.
I'm excited.
I thought this was dead. Like,
yeah, right.
well, we watched that fucking teaser forever ago, dude. Like pre-COVID.
Yeah.
And then you just didn't hear any more about it. And I was telling you the other night or today, a few weeks ago, I was looking at movies and stuff, and I was like, whatever happened to that one movie? The Green, I went looking for it, and it was like, oh, it's still coming out.
Yeah.
Then we get a trailer because I knew it was about time. This looks interesting.
Yeah, I'm interested. I haven't watched this trailer yet, but like the stuff that we got, the teasers and stuff look fucking ridiculous. So I'm interested.
This is a full-blown trailer right here. I had to make sure this wasn't some fucking concept shit, you know?
Oh yeah, of
They'd
course.
be fucking tricking you with the trailers.
Yeah.
There's a Batman trailer making the rounds right now that's fucking, he's like running down the hallway, and I'm like, that's from that fucking movie with the time travel. The fuck?
The Tenet?
Yeah.
From Tenet? Yeah. It's fucking, anyway.
All right, let's get it. Have y'all seen this?
No.
No.
Full screen in it. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. The Green Knight. A24. Cool logo. Look at this thing, man.
Shit.
Like, what's a year to him, you know?
Yeah.
Low and slow. The fuck?
What? When the fuck does this shit come out?
That looks fantastic.
It really does, dude.
So the summer.
I mean, we haven't got a legit, like, unique idea film like that in forever, right?
Oh, it's in the description. July 30th in theaters.
I might have to go watch that. Like, for real. Because
Fucking
that looks
looks
so
great.
Yeah, it does, man. Those fucking giant babies
Yeah,
walking
dude.
around.
It's
What
those
the
things.
fuck?
It's the Prometheus.
Oh, the engineers?
Yeah.
Fuck. I mean, I'll allow it. Well, we got solos. Is this about Warzone
I was
solos?
about to. I'm like, it ain't quads.
Yeah.
Solos. So grab a Bertha.
Yeah, grab a berth and a self and meet me at the fucking final circle.
Or
I'm
some.
ready. Call Fourth Eye Day.
All right, it's Morgan Freeman. So look. All right, before we watch this, Amazon's put money into this and not the Dark Tower. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. But it's got Morgan Freeman in it.
And Anthony Mackie.
It comes with egg roll. It looks. Is he playing God again?
Probably.
So it's different stories. Both of them.
I mean, I'm interested to see
I don't
what's
know what's
going
happening
on.
there.
Yeah, for real.
Got Anthony Mackie, dude.
Love, Death, and Robots.
This is volume 2, so apparently it's already on Netflix with a volume 1. I haven't heard of it.
No.
Red Band trailer.
Okay.
Let me drop my comment. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. I think it's an anthology. Yeah. Looked like The Matrix, didn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of made me want to check out the first half of it.
Yeah, for real, right? Doesn't look bad at all.
Wait for the cream.
Georgetown.
Haven't seen Christoph Waltz in a while.
Yeah, for real. This comes out 7 days, dude.
All right, y'all ready?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play. Paramount. She's trying to get her money. Yep.
So did he direct it?
I saw that. I don't know. Why wouldn't he use his whole name? Make sure. He directed it. I'm in on that.
Yeah.
Now this was 2019. I guess it got pushed back.
Yeah.
That's what he's been doing. So I gotta check it out. See what the boy's up to.
Yeah, I'd like to see see how his first outing as a director looks.
It's funny on IMDb it says director Christoph Waltz as C. Waltz. That's his nickname, C. Waltz.
That's his director name?
He didn't write the screenplay.
Right.
But he is directing.
But it is a biopic, so
Yeah.
I like a good biopic. So, Stillwater. Is this the one with Matt Damon in it?
Yeah, so from what I read in the comments section when I pulled this trailer up, this is like loosely based on. Do y'all remember that Knox girl that was in Italy? Amanda
Yeah.
Knox. And the
Yeah.
roommate, her and her had a roommate, and somebody got murdered, and she went to jail, and then she had a few mistrials. They finally let her out, and she came home. It's like loosely based on that.
Oh, okay.
So
All
he's
right. That
playing
makes
the
sense.
dad of her.
Okay. All right.
So somebody kind of threw a movie together.
They just threw the shit
Yeah,
together. Like, put it out. Put fucking Matt Damon in
yeah.
it.
Jason Bourne.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, play. Got a little accent. Sonic.
Stillwater.
He looks like he's into QAnon. That girl looks familiar.
Yeah.
It looks like the little girl from, what was that movie? It is the little girl from Little Miss Sunshine.
Holy shit.
Yeah, she's a big girl now. Yeah. Police. QAnon. Mm-hmm.
Hmm. I might watch it on like a date night or something, you
Mm-hmm.
know? Date night in. Am I
She
wrong?
does like murder porn.
Yeah, she does, dude. Fuck. It's not murder porn. It's mysteries. Okay. You know what it sounds like to me? Murder porn. Fatherhood. Kevin Hart. Netflix. Has it got The Rock in it? I mean, I had to ask,
Yeah,
you know?
either him or any of his crew.
Yeah, I mean, just
Tiffany
pick
Haddish,
one.
somebody like.
Yeah. Fucking Dasani. What's that chick's name? Aquafina?
Yeah. Dasani.
Dasani. I was close.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Fatherhood. 3, 2, 1, play. Single dad. The mom dead? Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be a serious one.
Yeah.
It's the guy from what's that show called?
Outer.
King of the Sling. Like buckwheat, you know? He's gonna take his crack at a serious movie.
Yeah.
Like, listen here, you little bitch. She's flossing. Yeah, that looks sad.
Yeah.
Sprinkled with his little comedy, you know?
Yeah.
So it's not too sad.
It's still gonna be sad though.
Yeah, dude.
Medea fans are gonna be crying.
He
That's all
punched
I'm
the shit out of
saying.
that clown.
Yeah. Oslo. HBO. Let's see what it do.
All right. 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, wow. What a time for this to come out.
Yeah, right.
He's in the Matrix.
Damn. This shit looks super serious.
Yeah.
I like this comment. Did they start a week ago or something? The timing couldn't be more perfect.
Yeah. Palestine saw this trailer and was like, bomb them. You know what I'm saying?
Now, yeah. Stat.
We don't want this shit coming out.
Yeah, right.
It was like rubbing salt in it.
Ah. Heels. Is this about like the shoe?
No, this is some kind of like wrestling movie, and you know, a heel's like a bad guy.
Oh yeah. Okay, I got you. So is this the sequel to Ready to Rumble?
Yeah. Let's see. What does it even say? I go, it's in a series too.
Okay. Is Maxwell in
Gotta be.
it? I mean, I'm just saying.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. Stars.
Duffy, Georgia.
Okay. Damn. Not much of a trailer, huh?
I mean, I got a question. How they gonna greenlight that and not Dark Tower?
Yeah.
You know what I
Heels.
mean? Like,
Your daddy built the cathedral.
is Duffy, Georgia even a real
Collision, yeah.
place?
I don't know. I ain't never heard of it.
I'm gonna Google it in a minute. I need to find out. Stranger Things season 4 trailer. These
Is this a
kids are
real
grown
fucking
up now.
trailer?
I don't know, man.
Dude, how long has it been since the last season? 3
3
years?
Something. I mean, it's
Feels
feels
like
like
it.
it.
God.
Yeah. Kind of Agua.
Yeah.
But I mean, these kids are grown up.
Yeah, dude, they're big now.
So yeah, so I don't know. We'll see.
All right. 3,
I'm ready.
2, 1, play. Is this just a teaser? They don't want to show us the kids yet because they're too big. Playing Pinko. Price is Right. There's more kids. That's the doctor?
I think so.
Oh, he died. I don't even remember what happened.
This has got to be a prequel, right?
A flashback.
I mean, that's got to be a prequel, right? Because he died in the
So,
first season.
yeah.
So I
Will
had
it
to
even
drop this.
will it be the same girl? Like,
No, they'll probably cast a younger version of 11. They've got to. I mean, she's
grown?
almost, yeah, she's almost an adult now, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude.
I mean, she's, yeah, anyway. The House Next Door, Meet the Blacks 2.
This is like a Like
Got
a
my
horror
caps.
comedy movie.
I
don't know.
Possible. What was that movie? Where'd all your furniture go? This is that witch bitch from Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
Was that Meet the Blacks?
I don't know.
But that shit was funny though. But I'm ready though.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. I like my Cubs.
I do too.
It's like a horror movie, yeah.
What the fuck?
Is that fucking Cat Williams? It is. He's a vampire. Little vampire in Brooklyn up in here. Shout out to Pear. It's a silly goose time, dude. It's Michael Blackson. It does look funny. Silly goose time.
Cat Williams is doing something a little different there, ain't he?
Yeah. He's like, he is a PIMP.
Put it in your pocket. All right, guys.
Song trailer.
Yeah. I mean, we hit all the high notes, man. And next week
And the
we're
low
gonna
ones.
Yeah. But can you take me higher?
Yeah, I wanted to throw something at y'all. I know next week we're going to finish out The Matrix.
All right.
Talk about that. But after The Matrix, on the 21st, Army of the Dead drops.
Okay.
So, I'm just trying to line it up where,
why not?
watch Little Army of the Dead after that. I've been waiting to see that one for a minute.
Yeah, let's do it.
And I'm going to start a hashtag release the D'Elia cut.
You think it'll happen?
No. But
I mean, it's
maybe
still there,
he'll be on
though,
the
right?
DVD. Oh, dude, he was finished.
I mean,
He shot. I don't think he was in the movie like very long.
Yeah.
Played a helicopter pilot. Probably died pretty quick. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they would just they recast it and then reshot it. So he couldn't have been in there too long. Like.
Yeah.
But I saw earlier when we were looking at Batista. I scrolled down on that because I was like, when's that come out?
Yeah.
And it drops not this Friday, but next. So.
Yeah.
After The Matrix. Army of the Dead.
I'm ready for it, man. For real.
That trailer looks silly goose.
Yeah, I think it'll be a fun little
with
time.
a shitload of zombies.
I think that they're doing they're already setting up to do like a prequel or something, right?
I think so.
So I mean, hell yeah, let's do it. Let's figure it out. Figure it out.
I didn't read the article, but I did see earlier where they like the reviews are in early reviews.
Yeah.
I didn't click on it. I don't want no spoilers.
Nah, fuck. Nah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's our job. That's our job. Spoilers.
Yeah.
So
So fucking next week we're gonna hop back into the Matrix or out of the Matrix or never really left the Matrix.
Right.
Oh,
So hey, let's try this too. Like, there's got to be a ton of Matrix theories, right?
gotta be.
So I am gonna see if I can find any weird Matrix theories, and kind of get a SWAT board out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And
Dry erase.
some, yeah, washable. And kind of hit on some of these other Matrix theories because I think that that's kind of fascinating. Is the different theories that surround different people's interpretations of the film. You know what I mean? So I'll do that, and if anybody else, because Trav introduced the first Matrix theory. So if I come across any other ones that are pretty interesting, I'm gonna bring them up. We'll see.
We'll keep an eye out for some trivia, some Easter eggs.
Yeah, the whole thing. So.
Oh yeah. All right, guys, keep it real. We'll see you next week.